There are no shops in Xiaoxie village. They are all hunters, woodcutters, village husbands, and village women, and it is not a village, only more than 10 households. Xiaoxie, when he woke up, the 5 temples were empty, and he should have found something to eat, but when he touched the silver in his pocket, he had already lost it to Ahu. He hated, Grandma Blackskin, die Ahu, and leave no way back, causing me to fall into the dust, and it seems that I can only return to my old business. Stealing dogs. He was amused by the thought of stealing a dog, and when he remembered that he could not hear the dog bark when he came back to town, he was complacent and proud. He muttered to himself, 1 black, 2 yellow, 3 flowers, 4 white, 5 long hairs, see if you can meet them today, Xiaoqi God Dog, Black Dragon Dog, an orthodox Black Earth Dog, then. Ha ha! Long live the Earth Dog! Xiaoye salivated at the thought of the black dog, and couldn't help but shout wildly. As for the Xiaoqi Divine Dog, it was the name of the Siwai Divine Horse and the Black Dragon Dog who learned Weisu and Keen. He walked generously to Xiaoxie village, and whistled from time to time, using a trick of attracting dogs for more than 10 years, and sure enough, he blew and shook, followed by a large number of large and small embarrassments, barking endlessly, and the people were huge. The little evil deliberately ran 10 steps and walked 3 steps, pretending to be afraid to strengthen the dog's guts. These earth dogs knew that the little evil was ulterior motives. The dog was afraid when he saw people, and he was even more arrogant, only his teeth and claws were flying, and he barked and really thought he was a tiger. The little evil said secretly, "Look at it too much." It wasn't until there was a pure black dog that he smiled and said, "Little Black, I've had so much trouble finding you." He didn't care if there was anyone or not. As soon as he rushed up the street and threw him into the street, he grabbed the black dog by the neck and went into the woods. The group was frightened by him, and immediately fled for their lives in all directions, and the previous invincible situation was no longer seen. At that time, someone had already seen the little evil stealing the dog, and immediately shouted, "Catch the thief! Someone steals the dog! Catch the thief!" Xiaoxie knew that the villager couldn't catch up, so he didn't have to worry, so he found a clear stream, slaughtered the black dog, washed it, roasted it, couldn't finish eating, wrapped it up and ate it on the way, and he didn't take a break to rush to the road at night. XXX. 3 days later. There have been traces of small evil in the Black Town. It's a pity that the little evil doesn't even have a dime on him, and he walks around the street bitterly. He thought, "I didn't expect me to have such a day. How do you make money? Grandma Black doesn't even have a gambling book." Sighing, he thought again, "Why don't you go to the temple and look for the silver that someone has fallen from the incense? Or he steals the idol to be." He thought it was funny to steal the idol, because he thought that no one had ever been an idol, right? "Mom, just $1 is enough. You can gamble with 1 penny, and you can survive with 1 penny. He. As soon as he thought of the spirit of hope, he immediately looked around the town and found a relatively large temple with the peak of incense. There are several cash boxes in the Bing Ground Temple, all of which are full. Xiaoxie looked at the crowd around him, whistling on the side, approaching the money box, and wanted to run away while no one was ready, but unfortunately he made a mistake. someone was whistling in the temple, and he had already noticed that he was acting suspiciously and aimed at it. The little evil didn't realize that his whereabouts had been defeated, and he whistled twice to look at the money box once, but he screamed when he saw it. The money box was made of iron, and the lock was on the stone wall and could not be removed. Wow Jia! I was born at the wrong time, and I can't take the money away. Grandma's really suffocating. It's okay. He sighed, trying to change the idol. He walked up to the statue and swayed around, looking at it for a long time and not finding anything like a gold medal, a little disappointed. Xiaoxie smiled bitterly, because he found that the statue of Guanyin was bigger than him and was carved from jade, and if he wanted to move it, it would be earth-shattering. Even if he could move it, the pawn shop would not dare to accept it. Xiaoxie had no choice but to stare dryly, stretch out his finger and touch the toes of the Guanyin Bodhisattva, looking helpless. Okay, wait. The little evil sighed softly, and sat behind the cash box waiting for the silver to fall to the ground. If someone with or without the silver accidentally dropped the silver, then he would pick it up and run. The crowds came and went, and the sun went from the east to the west. Xiaoxie had waited from morning to dusk, and it had no effect at all, and he felt strange. Why are people who put money so careful? Thinking that he was about to explode, he raised his right foot, kicked at the cash box and shouted, "Fuck, Leperton, what are you playing to?" meaning. Miao Zhu walked up and asked, "Little donor, do you have any difficulties?" He had been paying attention to Xiaoxie for a long time, but Xiaoxie didn't act, and he was embarrassed to act. The little evil said, "There is a difficulty, can you lend me a little silver?" The little evil pinched his tail finger and looked pitiful. The temple Zhu saw that it was borrowing money, and he didn't say much. "Little donor, everyone is in trouble in front of the Bodhisattva, don't dare to borrow more, please accept the little silver or two." He took out a silver tael to dismiss the little evil so as not to see the money box. As soon as the money arrived, he shouted, "Thank you, you are so good, you are really my savior, the great Bodhisattva. If you come to the Buddha, the land prince, the king of the land, you are a good person. If I Yang Xiaoxie don't give you a golden body tomorrow, then let the black dog bite me to death. Don't go, old man, you will be a big rich man tomorrow, haha, bye-bye." He jumped up happily, and his mouth kept running to the town. The little evil is so excited, he has reached the point of incoherence. Miao Zhu was even more confused. He couldn't imagine that there was such a person in the world, and he laughed and used it as a joke. It's a pity that the good times don't last long, and the little evil person holds a silver that weighs more than one of his life, and runs forward as a treasure, but when he crosses the stream, he unfortunately trips over a small stone, and the person pounces forward and the silver falls into the stream. "Wow ka!" Xiaoxie screamed and rushed forward to catch the silver, but it was too late. The silver had sunk into the muddy stream, and it was gone. "Wow Jia, I'm that me." Xiaoxie lay on the water's edge and fished for a long time, but it had no effect at all. "I was very depressed, and the life-saving bodhisattva in my hand was gone." He scolded, "Fuck, it's really a tiger falling in Pingyang and being bullied by dogs, what kind of bodhisattva? I think it's a soil killing. You obviously know that I have a tael of silver and I can give you a golden body tomorrow. This is good. You are deliberately trying to let me bite the black dog to death, the black-skinned grandmother, Leper 10. Dead Bodhisattva, let's see, it's extremely hateful. Disappointed, the little evil had no choice but to drain the dirt from his clothes, listlessly, and walked back to Hiken town with a blank rooster and a blank head, feeling like a hero's end. After returning to the Black Town, Xiaoxie walked back and forth on the streets, his head down, his eyes looking at the ground like an eagle's eye. He was looking for the square hole money that no one had left behind. He looked very carefully, and from time to time he used his feet to rummage through the dirt, trying to dig out the money, but he was still disappointed, seeing that the sky was almost dark, and he was in a miserable situation today. He thought, no capital. No capital. That's right, you can gamble without capital. Smiling, he found a 3-foot-long bamboo pole, tore off his clothes, walked to the fortune-telling booth, and asked the fortune-teller to teach him to write a few words. Fortunately, he didn't need money to write a few words. And the strip of cloth hanging on his bamboo pole reads, "Gambling skills are taught, guaranteed to win, 1 or 2 each time. He's down enough and he's tough enough, but as long as there's a glimmer of life, he can laugh." As soon as he walked into the casino, the gambler saw that he was a small watch, and thought that he had a nervous problem and ignored him. At first, Xiaoxie was still very angry and smiling. He thought that this industry could be done, but unfortunately he was not photogenic, like a little beggar, who would believe that he had won a gamble after a long time. His mood also became heavy. Secretly said, "Grandma, you are so stupid, you don't come to ask me. What am I doing?" Xiaoxie was very disappointed. "Okay. You don't come to ask me, I'll tell you." He was already angry, and found a 60-year-old man, and when he saw that the old man was depressed, he knew that he was angry.